Hi, everyone, and welcome to the webinar. Thank you so much for joining us. I cannot wait to dive in. We've got some really great content for you guys today. We're going to give just a second. Others are joining, so let's get acquainted. And I'll give you guys a preview of what we're going to go over today. I'm going to go over some housekeeping items, and then we're going to get into some really good content. So for anyone that has never joined us before or is just trickling in, I'd love for you guys to try to find the question box in your GoToWebinar, module on the side. So we want you to be able to use that question box because that feature is essentially going to be your chat today. So you'll be able to put in questions or put in replies, and we'll be able to see them in real time. You won't be able to chat in real time along with other attendees, but that will act as sort of our version of a chat feature today. Again, that's the question box. So to get us all started and to get us acquainted with everything, I'd love for you to find that question box and type into it, say hello, and let me know where you're calling in from today. That's probably one of my favorite parts about these webinars is getting to see all of the different places where people are attending. And it's just really neat to know that there's all of these different places and perspectives and situations, but we're all coming together for the one purpose of bettering our marketing. So I'll call out some of the responses as they come in, but I just want to know where you're calling in from today, who all we have on the call. I'd love to get a feel for the audience. For example, I am calling in from Louisiana. I'm based out of North Louisiana, born and raised here. So let me know where you're calling in from. All right, hello, Pittsburgh. I see Kentucky, San Antonio, how are you doing? Maryland, Jacksonville, Chicago. We've got some awesome places. Maryland, I see across the street from DC, I love it. Idaho, Detroit, some more PA. This is fantastic. Oh, Florida, welcome. All right. Keep them coming. Let me know that you know where that question box is, and let's just have a fun time. Let's see where everyone's coming in from. I see a ton of responses that are coming in right now. So I'd love to call everybody out, but like I said, we have a lot of content to cover. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, I'm going to kick us off with a couple of housekeeping items, like I said earlier. So for everyone on this call, note that it is being recorded. So you're not going to have to worry about taking notes or anything like that. You'll get the materials directly in your inbox later today, and that includes a copy of the slides and the recording. Please note all of our webinar recordings can be easily found on WordStream and lookalike YouTube channels. So just navigate to YouTube, type in lookalike or WordStream, click on one of our channels, and you'll be able to see all of our past webinar recordings. If you want to catch up on any of our old ones or maybe view this one again later, you can find them all there. So also the reason why I love having you practice using that question box is I want you to feel comfortable typing your questions throughout the webinar, because we're going to take those questions and make them part of a live Q&A later on. So again, we have a lot of content to cover. We have a lot of good stuff to get into. So if you have attended any of our Q&As in the past, you know that it's a really neat opportunity to get your questions answered in what feels like a one-to-one setting. So just be sure that you know where that question box is and you know how to use it. All right, to get everybody on the same page, I know we have some new friends who are joining us. Some of you work with us, some of you are just coming to a webinar for the first time. So that's wonderful. We like to have everybody as part of this audience. What we want to do is just get everybody on the same page about who we are as lookalike. You may have come in through a couple of different avenues. Maybe you saw something on wordstream.com. Maybe you work with us as lookalike. How do they all fit together? Lookalike is a fully integrated growth marketing platform that marries innovative tech that you can't find anywhere else and unparalleled expertise and service to give your business what it needs to thrive and prosper. So how exactly do we do that? Technology is at our core. Our platform runs on optimization technology and AI, all informed by data from over 1 million lookalike campaigns. So you're not going to be able to find this stuff anywhere else. And we've got all the tools that you need in one place. We give you the tools at your fingertips to make the daily task of marketing faster, putting time back into your day so you can focus on managing your business or managing your teams, rather than focusing your attention on all that marketing requires. And finally, we have been in the marketing game for over 15 years, which, if you think about the age of digital marketing, is really not much older than that. So we've been through it all the ups and downs, the shifts in the landscape and the platforms. We're here to tell the story, all to the benefit of your business. And one thing we're really proud of is that we are premier partners of all major advertising platforms. And that's not something that's just granted to any marketing platform out there. It's really only given to businesses that display clear campaign success for their customers, display thought leadership within the field, and meet a rigorous set of requirements for each platform, including Google, Microsoft, and Meta. All right, so a little bit about me. I'll be your webinar host and facilitator today. My name is Katie. Here at lookalike, I work closely with our teams on our digital marketing. And for the last 10 plus years, I've worked in one capacity or another in digital marketing with sales teams or agencies, individual businesses like yours, just getting you what you need to succeed. And if you couldn't tell by my accent, I'm located in the southern US. I am in Louisiana, but I always tell people I'm not in the fun part of Louisiana. I'm about 5 hours north of New Orleans. So we got some rain from the hurricane. All right, so before we dig in, the last couple of things I want to mention are around some really common questions that we get. Where can we learn more about the topics that we cover here? I'm going to be honest, this is going to fly by. We're going to have a ton of information to go over. So if you feel like you need more time to sit with any of the topics that we cover, or maybe you just want to go back and learn a little bit more about something that we touched on, I highly recommend going over to lookalike or WordStream to our websites. We cover everything in the webinars in depth over on those sites, as well as on our social media channels. So be sure to follow us. We share out notifications for future events. So if you want to join more webinars like this in the future, definitely be sure to follow us and turn on your post notifications. And then we also share out platform updates, interesting articles, all sorts of news and information that advertisers and business owners should be aware of. So you can find lookalike on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube. And you can find WordStream on LinkedIn, X, Facebook, and YouTube. All right. So if you've attended any of our webinars in the past, you know that we love to keep everyone engaged and on their toes. So to warm everybody up today, we're going to hit you with a quick pop quiz. So I want you to find that question box again and go ahead and type in there, what is your favorite strategy around the end of the year for you to see results fast? What have you tried? What worked? What didn't? What do you know that towards the end of the year you can do in your business for you to see some revenue pretty quickly, for you to see some progress? I think that's what makes this time of year really interesting, is we're assessing our performance so far. We're looking at, what are the things that we can do maybe to hit the numbers that we thought we were going to hit earlier in the year. And then we're trying to figure out how to actually make that happen. Maybe we're trying to play catch up a little bit. So type into that question box, what is it? What's your go-to strategy for something like this? Is it a promotion? Is it an open house? Do you run an ad in the newspaper? Do you maybe beef up some of the digital advertising that you're doing so far? So I see a lot of those same responses. So we inventory blowout at the end of the year. That's a great option. So you can go ahead, clear that out, but also meet some of those numbers. Promotion-based advertising, that's right. That's right. Discounts, specials, video campaigns. I think that's a really interesting use of video towards the end of the year. Video is so engaging, so you're automatically going to boost people's response to your ads and then boost their engagement with your business. Seasonal marketing with a giveaway. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. Email blast, no question mark. Email blasts are a great way for you to get your message out there and to make an impact towards the end of the year. And you'll see some more of these responses echoed throughout the content, because I think we're all in the same boat. Where even though our businesses look different, our goals look different, the tactics essentially are It's just how you use them and how it makes sense for your business. So what we'll do is now we're going to dive in and we're going to see what specifics you can take to your business, and let's make a difference. All right. So first up, we're going to talk a little bit about what makes this time of year so ripe for opportunity. A lot of us, like I said, are looking at our numbers and we realize that it's crunch time. So it's not hopeless. There's a ton of opportunity at the end of the year, and we've got some tips to help you with some of those tried and true tactics that you're mentioning in the chat. Next, we have a plan to take advantage of the time of year. It's one thing to know there's an opportunity. It's a whole other to make a plan. And then after that, we're going to look at the meat of our presentation. We're going to walk through 8 strategies that use Google, Facebook, and more to get you those results and get them fast. Then we're going to wrap it all up with a few thought starters, and then, like I said, our live Q&A. All right, Q4. It's the most magical time of the year, right? Magical is, I think, one word for it. So let's see why it can be great, but also probably pretty stressful. I think we can all agree. Fall's a really busy season. So the holidays are fast approaching. Kids are back in school, thankfully. Anybody else excited for your kids to be back in school? And everyone, including you as a business owner, you're trying to end the year on a high note. So technically, the official definition of fall begins around September 22nd, and then it ends around December 21st. So these next few months are typically packed with consumers and business owners, and that gives you the perfect opportunity to get more customers, but you're also, like I said, a consumer. So you have limited time as well between all of the school activities, the shopping that you have to do, all of the fall fests that are going to be going on. So it's a great opportunity, but you're limited on time. And then you cannot talk about the ending the year strong without talking about holiday marketing, which some of you mentioned in our question box. And it feels like people are going to start their holiday shopping, or at least planning for the holidays, earlier and earlier every year. And I know we talk about it a lot because it feels like it's creeping up closer and closer. And with high inflation, experts are predicting that shoppers will shop earlier this year to grab gifts before those prices increase too much, and we have a decrease in inventory. In fact, 28% of consumers have stated that holiday shopping before Labor Day this year. Who is anybody part of that group? Anybody part of that 28%? I have a December baby, so I usually try to get my shopping done really early, although I'm slacking this year. But let me know in the chat if you've bought a gift recently, or if you even have your list started for people. Put it in the chat. Let's know that we're not alone. All getting towards that because everybody's advertising for it, if you haven't noticed. So before we jump into search and social specific strategies for today, I wanted to give everyone some food for thought as we're discussing. We get deeper into the strategies. So these are holiday marketing tips that you can utilize alongside the strategies that we're going to talk about in just a second, and they will give you a focus to your marketing. So it's not just the plan, it's sort of part of the implementation, and then we'll get into the deeper parts of that implementation steps into the next section. So first up, start identifying any holiday offers or specials you're going to run. A lot of you threw some into the question box. So you know what you've done in the past, or maybe you see an opportunity now. Now's the time to start maybe making a list. Let's identify those places where you can give an inventory blowout, or you can do a special promotion, and what the specifics of that would be. Then you're going to want to outline who you want to target and when. This is just a fun example of a target audience, but that is basically an explanation of who are your buyers. Who are the people who are most often coming in contact with your services or your products? Those are the ones that you're going to want to go after. And especially if you know that there's a special subset of those people who make decisions quickly, or they're ready to make a decision now, depending on what your business offers. Next, identify some key messages you want to convey. In this example, they're sending out newsletters because they're wanting to talk about car preparedness for winter. Maybe you live in an area where something like this is of a similar need. So start thinking about what that target audience needs to hear around this time of year, and then what your business can do to offer a service or a product to maybe meet that need. Next, you're going to want to think about the different marketing tactics that you want to run to achieve your marketing goals. And we'll get into this in a lot more detail, so you'll have more ideas. I think everybody can think through the various ways to get in front of people, but we need to make sure that our goals are smart. They need to be specific and measurable, achievable. Don't set yourself up for failure. Make them relevant and time bound. And I think getting results by the end of the year, it doesn't get more time bound than that. And then lastly, pre-plan or even begin scheduling. That's my favorite feature for holiday social posts. If you know you're going to do some sort of promotional offer, or you know that you're going to offer some sort of event, or that there is something coming up in your community that is relevant to the services or the products that you're offering, go ahead and start writing out that copy. Get some ideas, get them scheduled in Facebook, and then you can just move on with life. That's the beauty of automation. All right, so now that you have formulated a rough outline in your mind, maybe you have a few ideas of your own. I know, like I said, we have some stuff that we always do, the things that are in our back pocket, and that's perfect. So hold on to those ideas, and now let's explore the best strategies to implement them. So tip number one, go beyond Google for search. Did you guys know there are other search engines besides Google? Yeah. So while Google Ads is an integral part of a successful search advertising strategy, you can actually get better results by running your search ads across platforms like Microsoft or even Yelp. So Microsoft ads, these are formerly Bing ads, have been shown to have higher conversion rates, and the average Bing user has a higher average income than the average Google user. So running ads across both search engines, it'll give you access to more inventory. So that means you have more opportunities for clicks and more conversions. So if you're running search advertising already, or you're getting ready to for the first time, make sure you run your ads on both Google and Microsoft, and then you can optimize your budget for placements and keywords that you know work best. So like you can see in this chart here, Microsoft Bing consistently since 2022 has had lower CPCs than Google. And while Google continues to go up, Microsoft's continue to go down, which is a really great indicator that it's a good economical choice. And there are people on Bing and they allow you to get in front of them for less of your budget. Or if you're a LocalIQ customer, you are already doing this. You're already across multiple platforms because our technology is what we call publisher agnostic. That just means that we automatically spread your search budget and your ads across multiple publishers. So we see what's performing best, and then we get you the most leads based off of that. Tip number two is to go beyond search, period. Not just search outside of Google. It's time to incorporate other channels into your strategy if you're not doing it already. Social especially should play a role in your larger marketing plan that really rounds out your business's advertising strategy. The easiest place to start is to be sure to regularly share organic posts to Facebook or Instagram. This is a good way to fill gaps into your paid ad performance, whether you're doing paid Facebook or paid search, or if you're not doing anything at all. It's a really easy way to start immediately. And you'll likely want to also leverage other social media platforms. So as well as channels like SEO or email marketing. So you can start to see how you start to get this full funnel approach that supplements not just your paid social, but also whatever search you're doing. So for example, your audience might be on TikTok and Snapchat in addition to Facebook and Instagram. So you can promote your business across these multiple platforms, and that'll grow your overall social presence, which really just raises your visibility in the mind of your user. Many marketing channels provide similar benefits for businesses, so it's best to use as many as possible in tandem with your holistic marketing approach. And this is what we call a cross-channel marketing strategy. It includes social and search ads, as well as other channels to help you reach your audience regardless of where they are online. But as you can probably start piecing together, that's a lot to juggle to get all those channels and figure out where to go and manage all those ads. But luckily, there are plenty of tools and solutions online that can help you manage those campaigns across multiple channels. What this looks like for lookalike, if you're currently a customer, that's our cross-media optimization technology. This is a formal way of us saying that it just simplifies the approach. So we leverage AI and automation, and we make sure that your campaigns perform best across multiple channels, not just search, and it's based on what's driving the best performance for your business's goals and the budget. So not to mention, we have some really cool new technology that we're releasing soon called brand amplification that really takes the whole cross-channel marketing to a whole other level. Another reason outside of just search, of expanding outside of just search, is because it's more affordable a lot of the time. Same way we looked at the difference in cost between the search publishers. In recent years, most industries have seen a decline in performance and an increase in cost on Google Ads, like we just saw in our chart. Cost and performance in Facebook ads have been relatively stable though, and in many cases they've improved. So although running search ads is still really critical for your business growth online, search is still super important. Our updated benchmarks report show that Facebook advertising continues to be the perfect complement to your search campaign. So I'll briefly walk you through some of the numbers on the screen. For Facebook lead ads and traffic campaigns, overall average CTR across all industries improved over last year. That's your click-through rate. That's how often people are clicking on the ad through to your landing page or your website. And while you should prioritize a high CTR for your Facebook ads, this isn't necessarily the most important metric for lead ads specifically. So don't just hone in on that and let that be the end-all be-all. Your average cost per click for the lead gen objective increased about 80% over all industries. So this follows a similar trend that we saw on our Google Ads benchmarks that we released earlier this year, where 86% of industries saw an increase in CPC. So cost per click is still relatively low for lead ads. It's at $1.88 compared to $4.66 on Google Ads. But on the other side, cost per click largely decreased year over year for the traffic campaign, making them both a really economical complement for search. And then we have conversion rate. Conversion rate improved overall year over year for leads ads across most industries. Big winners for the industries were industrial and commercial, dentist and dental, and real estate. Those saw great conversion rates. For lead gen objective, cost per lead decreased for 6 out of the 15 industries, and an average CPL across all industries of almost $22. This is substantially lower than Google's CPL of $66, almost $67. So it's interesting to note that CPL decreased year over year for leads ads, but because leads ads are optimized to drive leads, obviously, this could account for the lower CPL. So because of these metrics and the shift of social filling all the stages of the marketing funnel, it's making a really great addition to search if you want to offset cost and then increase performance. Now for tip number 3. It is not just that you look at your keywords, but to look for strategic opportunities for improvement in your keywords. Now, you cannot create the best keywords without first understanding search intent. So let's take a look at that for a second. That's that chart that's on your screen. Search intent is the purpose behind an online search. So you'll have informational, commercial, transactional, navigational, and they all get to what that person is wanting to do when they're making that search. So identifying your ideal keyword intent ensures that your keywords relate back to your audience's main wants or needs as they're going throughout their own buying journey. So for example, if your PPC goal is to increase sales, you're not going to want to use keywords that would match someone's search simply looking for information. The chart shows the most common types of keyword intent, and so that gives you an idea of where to start. When it comes to your PPC keywords, transactional and commercial intent keywords are usually going to be your best. If you are unsure of your keywords intent, just do a quick search and you can find all sorts of results that come up. And so you'll get a feel for the types of intent behind those keywords. We recommend using PPC keywords that align with where your customers are in the sales funnel or just where they are in their buying journey. That's just another way for saying it, as well as their search intent. This will help increase clicks and conversions. Another consideration for keywords is the competition against your keywords. So let's look at how that impacts things. Certain keywords may be more expensive and they may not be driving the best results for your business. So by identifying the right keyword strategy, including a varied mix of keywords and keyword phrases, you can usually zero in on what's working to drive the most clicks and calls for your business. For example, you might be bidding on a broad keyword like lawyer Kansas City, which is high competition and high cost, when you could really narrow it down to personal injury attorney Kansas City, or try maybe a newer keyword strategy that helps you capture better searches. This is going to be less competitive and less money, but it's going to get you a more focused audience where you can show up. And this is where small businesses have a real advantage over bigger brands. Bigger businesses are going to be competing with each other over the biggest and most competitive keywords. So smaller businesses, if that's you, you have an opportunity to try for more specific keywords that bigger businesses wouldn't even consider. One final note on keywords. You are not in this keyword struggle on your own. There are keyword research tools that you can use to find new phrases. The quickest and the easiest way to keep up with your PPC keyword research is to leverage online tools that can source and organize them for you. For example, WordStream has a free keyword tool that you can use, and it pumps out keyword ideas, and they're all organized by cost and competition. You'll also want to practice routine keyword cleanup. Again, it's not a set it and forget it strategy. You need to go back and regularly check on your keywords. This is going to be really vital to the health of your campaigns. And if you don't have time to do this yourself, like I said, there are plenty of online solutions out there. And if you're a lookalike customer, our technology adjusts keywords and negative keywords automatically. It does this as part of the technology that runs the campaign. Up next is strategy number 4. Create high converting landing pages if you want to see your ads make a difference. You work really hard to create these great campaigns with this great creative, and then you get them to a page where maybe they don't really know what to do. It isn't super clear. So one of the best ways to improve that click-through rate and your quality score, which is something Google looks at when determining both your ad rank and your cost per click, is to optimize your landing page around your search advertising campaign. So the more your landing page ties into the search ad copy, better chance you have at converting. And it's also going to be really important for your landing pages to have a clear call to action, for them to load quickly, and to be optimized for mobile. So what does that actually look like in real life? Well, first, you can use free online page speed grading tools to see how your pages are loading, see where your standings are. Plus, it'll give you an idea of how you can improve your quality score, since landing page experience is, like I said, a factor that's part of that. Next, think beyond the landing page. Visitors sourced from your ads are likely going to click around and explore other areas of your website if your page has a top navigation or allows them to move around. So you're going to want all of your pages to be really user-friendly while also being consistent in promoting your business. So you want to talk the same way about your business throughout every single page. So for example, the lookalike website grader, this is something that is a free tool, and it helps identify areas on your site that you may need to improve. It's just a really good way to get a literal grade and things that you can do to improve. Then you're going to want to ensure your website copy and creative strategy mirrors whatever you're running on your Google Ads. Again, it's about a consistent user experience. So whatever you're saying in the ad copy needs to be the same type of words that you're using over on your landing page. And then finally, best landing pages are conversion friendly. That means that your landing page should be responsive for mobile devices. So if somebody opens up your page on their phone, it doesn't look discombobulated. It actually makes sense and flows, and they can click on things in the proper place. You want to make sure that you have it easy to navigate, and then include a very clear call to action so that it really takes all the guesswork out of what the user needs to do. Next is tip number 5. So if your Google ads aren't working for you, you may need to take another look at your campaign settings. Although your campaign settings are the first steps when you're setting up your Google Ads, it's not meant to be just something that you set up and then forget about it. That's a recurring theme through all of this. So for example, you might choose one type of bidding strategy as you start your campaign, but later you switch your conversion action or your budget, and then you don't go back and you change your bidding. So forgetting how certain campaign settings interact with one another, like bidding strategy, location, or ad rotation, that can really throw off your Google Ads campaigns. So the solution is evaluate all your campaign setting options first. Just take some extra time during your planning process and then connect your campaign settings back to your core goals. So let's say that you or your clients are looking to increase website traffic. In that case, having a conversion-driven goal and bidding strategy set on your campaign as opposed to a click-based one, that's not going to make sense for you. So check your settings regularly, keep them in mind as you make optimization changes down the line. For example, if you want to raise your max cost per click bid limit, you may need to also raise your daily budget to accommodate the change. So you can see how everything plays off each other. In another example, impressions are low and maybe you might want to adjust ad copy to rank high. However, with a quick settings pulse check, you might find that your ad schedule restrictions kept your ad from gaining as many impressions as it could have. So it's just really important not to forget that those settings exist and to go in and make sure that everything is aligning. Number 6 has us back at Facebook, and we are taking advantage of lookalike audiences and with detailed targeting. So Facebook has offered lookalike audiences for more than a decade, and they're used to help you reach new consumers who are likely to be interested because they share similar characteristics to your existing customers. Lookalike audiences allow you to choose a source audience. So you can choose from one of your existing audiences or maybe a data source. And that Facebook will take that and then they'll analyze it, categorize it, and then they use it to find other users who behave in the same way to the users on that list. So they look like the other users. Now, however, you can also tap into targeting option based on detailed targeting. I don't know if anybody has delved into this just yet, but it allows you to refine the group of consumers who see your ads based on additional things like demographics, interest, behaviors. There's a ton of options and it lets you get very specific. Custom audiences can also include exclusion. So targeting that prevents a particular audience, like maybe your current customers, from seeing an ad. Now, keep in mind that while lookalike and detailed targeting are available, they may not be a good fit for everybody. This feature is limited for certain ad types. So things like credit, employment, or housing opportunities, those are going to have additional regulations. So your targeting is going to be limited. So just think about your business and your goals, and then get in there and kind of play around. And then really, while you're at it, go ahead, get more strategic with your entire Facebook audience. You can use campaign objectives to target different campaign audiences. So there are 6 different campaign objectives that Facebook offers. The first is awareness, and it is all about getting as many people as possible to see your ad. This one is really good for breaking into new marketing or promoting something new. The traffic objective. This will drive visits to a specific location like a landing page or a website. So if you have an e-commerce site or maybe an online action that you want someone to take, this is the one that's going to drive as many clicks as possible. Next, they have engagement. This one is all about getting people to like, share, comment, or just interact with your content in any way. So if you're wanting to increase your organic visibility or increase excitement about maybe you have an event going on, engagement is a really great objective. Next, leads is focused on just that, generating leads. So you can either do it directly on Facebook or you can take them over to your website. This is perfect for signups, registrations, or if you're trying to generate inquiries from potential customers. Next is app promotion. So if you have an app that you are trying to drive installs or maybe your business runs off of an app, that's a campaign objective for you. And then finally, probably everyone's favorite is sales. This is all about driving qualified sales of a product or a service directly through your Facebook ads. So each campaign objective impacts how Facebook serves your ad. So you're going to want to maybe test out a few. That way you can see which ones serve your ads the most efficiently. Like I said, you can do everything, but maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should just focus on a couple. For example, you can target a Facebook lookalike audience with a traffic objective. So you can educate a new group of potential customers about who you are and what you do. So like this Monday.com example, this one is promoting their compatibility with Mac, and it appeals to Mac users so that they can click through and learn more about the tool. Or you can target a specific email list or retarget users while they're using the lead gen objective. That's because these audiences are already aware of your business and they may be more likely to convert, so they don't necessarily need to learn more. The leads ads, they offer forms to collect information for you to follow up with them. But then on the other hand, you could go for a much more general, broader approach. So before we were talking about getting really specific, but maybe you want to have a broader audience based on Facebook's behavior and interest targeting options. A larger reach has been found to lower your overall cost per impression since you're casting a wider net. Facebook ads audience size indicator, that's that little box over to the right. This is typically on the right hand of the screen when you're doing ad setup. This will help you build out and know sort of where you are with your audience, the size, and how broad or narrow you're getting. And then speaking of lead forms, our last tip is about perfecting the fields that you include. So you may need to test what form style works best to maximize lead quality and quantity. For example, this year Meta announced that it added conditional logic to the Facebook lead gen form setup. So you can leverage conditional logic in your forms to help you pre-qualify leads. There are a ton of options based on the form type that you choose. So you can select either giving more volume, higher intent, or even rich creative. And then this opens up way more custom features for you to add. You can add things like your reviews, your star ratings. It just gives you a ton of options based on each of those selections. And so it's really tempting to use all of those options for qualifying leads with conditional logic. But remember, the more that you ask a prospect to fill out and the harder you make it to submit the form, the lower the conversion rate's likely to be. So be very selective around what you choose. Choose only the most important information that would help you with that first discussion and following up with them in order to move them on down to purchase. All right, so now it's time to package all of that information up into something that you can use to kickstart some ideas for your business. So I'm going to go over these thought starters, and while I'm doing that, please put your questions into the chat. I've seen questions coming in throughout the whole presentation, so continue to get those in because we're going to go into Q&A next, and I'd love to be able to get to them. So what are the 3 things that you need to know walking away from today? We think test and review is probably one of the most important ones. Not all of these strategies are going to be a fit for your business. So make changes and then be sure to go back frequently and check in on performance. Remember, there is no set it and forget it in this world. You're going to want to go one at a time. Don't try everything at once. Select a strategy or 2 that you feel fits your business goals and that can make the most impact. And then use the tools and resources that are available to you. There are multiple free and paid tools and resources that are available online, even at our sites, LocalIQ and WordStream, and they're there to sort of take the lift off of research, implementation, discovery, all of these parts of marketing and managing your campaigns that can start to be sort of a big lift. All right, so this was a ton of information, and I'm sure that you have a lot of questions because I see them coming in. There's tons of questions. So continue to drop them in. I'm going to try to get to as many as I can. I saw a ton coming through in very specific business situations. So you can see on your screen here that we've launched a poll. And if you feel like you want to take a look at your digital marketing to be able to finish the year strong, and you would like someone to talk through that in a very customized way with you, click yes to that poll. Again, I see a lot of very specific questions coming through, and this would be your chance to talk to someone one-on-one with one of our experts about your business and your industry and your market to figure out which of these strategies might be best for you. So that poll is going to stay up. It'll take over your whole screen, and it's going to remain there for the duration of the webinar. This now switches us over to the audio portion of this webinar. So once you answer that poll, you can just sit back, relax, and listen in to the Q&A portion. We're going to get as many answered as we can. So let's go to the question box. Let's see what we have. Oh, I see a bunch of people are early shoppers. I appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, there's so many. Okay, they keep moving on me. Here's a really easy one. Where are the free tools located on lookalike.com? So the best option, if you go to lookalike, looking in the blog, that's where you'll find all of the free resources that we have available. And then there's also a free marketing lab. So that's a really good place for education. If you go to wordstream.com, that's where we have a free grader tool, a free Facebook ads tool, a free Google ads tool. We have all sorts of tools to be able to take a look at your different elements of advertising and give you an idea of how you're performing. And the really great thing is, like I said, you get a grade, but then it also will update you monthly as you continue to make improvements. So you can see the improvements, that what's working and what isn't. So going back to one of those key takeaways. Let's see. Increasing clicks and conversions for customers that are actually moving in this downtime from a moving storage company. So again, if you have something super specific, I would encourage you to press yes to that poll. But I think this talks to a lot is around seasonal advertising and the best way to get in front of people during what's a peak season for your business. We have a lot of different options in order to do that. I think first and foremost, you're going to want to lean into your search strategy, and you're going to want to get in front of them where they are. And so the really good thing about a search strategy is you can pinpoint that audience. Same thing with Facebook. You can identify people who are in the market to move. Another really great option is email marketing. We have a really cool email marketing tool that allows you to find homeowners in a database who are maybe have been in their house for some time, or maybe it's been listed on the market for some time, and they're probably primed for a moving situation in this specific example. But it really lets you identify your audience, and then you can develop an email strategy to send them a couple of email blasts, let them know about your business, maybe give an offer, and then that lets you get in front of them when they need you the most. And then all of the other strategies can just help support that message. You can retarget them as they follow around the web and continue to remind them about your business. How can we help in LinkedIn business and business web pages to generate leads for pharma? Okay, so LinkedIn is a really awesome resource, and it's great, especially for B2B, if you're going that route. LinkedIn offers advertising that you can go in and you can, again, target that audience specific either to an industry or maybe certain behaviors. So having a business page and then having ads themselves on LinkedIn allows you to be able to do that and get into that targeting. You can do it directly onto LinkedIn, or you can go through a third party like lookalike, and we have experts who do this all day, every day, and they're able to get in there and figure out which levers to pull and what makes sense for your industry. They're very knowledgeable about the industries and the markets specifically, and so they can usually figure out which levers and buttons to push pretty quickly. Oh, we got a lot of pharma on here today. Yeah, and talking about the different titles. Title is a really great way to segment an audience because you're getting to the decision makers, and then you can also customize your message. You're able to speak directly to that person and what they're worried about. A CEO is going to be worried about different things versus a CMO, or a marketing executive or some other decision maker that's in a mid-managerial role. Very, very different message than someone who is maybe out in the field all day. So that's going to be really important to consider. All right, so I think that that about wraps us up. We had some really great questions and we had some great content today. Again, if we didn't get to your question, that it doesn't have to end here. Go ahead and click yes on that poll, and we will have someone contact you and talk to you specifically about your business. But thank you so much for the time today and for showing up for your marketing, and we hope to see you next month.